Thank you for coming. Welcome to our webinar series, Don't Go Broke in a Nursing Home. In the last few segments, we've discussed the three hurdles of Medi-Cal. We've compared it to the other major government program, that being Veterans Benefits. And we've discussed the fact that Medi-Cal is state-specific and various of its details. In this segment, we're going to introduce you to pre-planning concepts for Medi-Cal. Now, just to review for a moment, Medi-Cal is generally limited to skilled nursing facilities. It does not typically cover assisted living nor in-home care. It does have a multitude, I like to say 1,000 different programs. The one in which I'm expert is the long-term care program, and that's the one which we're discussing. Now, when we talk about long-term care, we have to define what we mean by that term. And that gets us just for a second into Medicare. Medicare is the health insurance program that almost everybody over 65 in this country has, and it does pay for skilled nursing facilities for up to 100 days. Now, it may be less, it may be nothing, depending on the circumstances, but a maximum of 100 days. For our purposes, long-term care is anything beyond what Medicare pays. So when Medicare stops paying or doesn't pay at all, for our purposes, that's long-term care. Medi-Cal is California's version of what most other states call Medicaid. But remember, it is state-specific. No state's rules are the same. Each one is different. In a skilled nursing facility, acute and subacute care can be very expensive, $10,000 to $20,000 a month and up. If there is a veterans benefit coming in, it's going to be a drop in the bucket, and what makes Medi-Cal so attractive is that it pays an unlimited amount monthly. There are the three stages or hurdles of Medi-Cal, the first one being qualification. Well, we talked about that in one of our earlier segments. Also gets us into the look-back period and the penalty period. The second hurdle is how much will Medi-Cal pay, also referred to as the share of cost. Again, one of our earlier segments. And that also got us into the discussion of the minimum monthly maintenance needs allowance. And the last one, which we've also again discussed in an earlier segment, it's a loan, it's not a gift, so they want their money back after you're gone, what's called Medi-Cal recovery. Now, if you or your loved one is not yet ready for assisted living or skilled nursing or what have you, you have time to pre-plan. Now, oftentimes, I'll have the solutions, but no one in the family has the authority to do what needs to be done. So that's very typically a problem that we encounter. In my career, I reviewed literally thousands of powers of attorney and what we call revocable living trusts. You may know it by the name family trust or living trust. And actually, a number of these that I have reviewed actually prevent the family from doing what needs to be done. So for example, if mom has had a stroke and needs veterans benefits or Medi-Cal, she does not have mental competence, at least in our example, we need documents that authorize someone to do what needs to be done, as opposed to preventing us from doing so. Now, that doesn't mean that the attorney who drafted the documents did a bad job. It just wasn't part of the problem that was being dealt with at that time. So the moral of the story here is that these documents do need to be reviewed periodically. Yes, laws change, and that's part of the reason, but in my mind, the bigger reason is because your situation changes from time to time, and what we have in place may not be covering everything that is an issue now or that you view as an issue in the future. So goals change, family situations change, family dynamics change, etc., and that's a reason why we review these things. So if you still have your health, that means you have more options, one of which is long-term care insurance. Now, many people tell me that they would like to have long-term care insurance, but they don't want to have annual payments, or that they don't want to gift all of their assets off now in order to qualify for Medi-Cal or VA. They don't want to do that now. So there are ways to get ready so you keep all of your assets, you keep control now, but when the stroke occurs or the health declines and now we need assisted living or skilled nursing, everything is in place to do so. Now, one can plan with IRAs, annuities, and life insurance to wind up with an IRA and long-term care insurance or an annuity and long-term care insurance without annual premiums. Now, we can use what we refer to as a retirement protection trust coupled with long-term care insurance so that nursing home payments can actually be tax deductible to the children. So what is it that we do? Well, we offer a complimentary Medi-Cal eligibility assessment. It's done by phone, so you don't even have to leave your house. Keep in mind, we do limit it to those with some type of a California connection. To us, that means someone is resident here in this state, or there's real estate here, something that connects with California. Well, if certain things are free, then obviously certain things must not be free, and that's what's on the slide in front of you right now. Some of you are going to need help to become eligible. In other words, as you're watching this segment, this webinar, you're not eligible right now, but you're capable of becoming eligible. From our live workshops, we figure that that's about 15 to 20% of the people who are listening. You're going to need some legal or financial work to make it all happen. These services are not free. However, you will be informed of any fees you need to pay prior to having any obligation, so it's completely above board and transparent. Now, here's a little bit about me. I was admitted to the state bar in 1974. I think bullet point number 2 and 3 are particularly important because they indicate I'm specialized. I'm not a jack of all trades. I just don't think one can do everything and know everything. And I want people to get top-notch solutions. The only way I believe that can be done is if one specializes in only a few areas. You can see my background. I've been a teacher, I've been an author, I've been a columnist. I am accredited by the VA. There's my number if you want to look me up. And I've been involved in helping families not go broke in a nursing home for decades. Here's one of my columns that I wrote in the early 90s about Medi-Cal. It appeared in the Blade Citizen, which at that time was the largest regional newspaper in San Diego County. That paper later morphed into the North County Times, which since has morphed into the San Diego Union Tribune. I wrote for the Blade Citizen and the North County Times for 15 years, one column a week. This is one of them. Notice its title, Irrevocable Trust Can Avoid Medi-Cal Claim. So I'm not exactly a Johnny-come-lately to this field. I've been in it at least since the early 90s. If you do want to read more about me, you can find my full resume under the About tab on this website. Now, I do want to caution you, this field is complex and complicated. It's difficult to do on your own. Those who have tried often make mistakes which can cost the family tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. That being in penalty periods during which Medi-Cal will not pay a penny, to even the loss of the family home. So this really is a team effort. Who's on the team? Well, we'd be delighted to be on the team for you. Certainly the staff at the assisted living, skilled nursing facility, or at the in-home care agency, they will want to help you in any way they can. And of course you, because we cannot do it without you helping you. But together we can make it happen. So please do take us up on our offer for our complimentary Telcon assessment. Our contact information is on the bottom of the slide you are looking at right now. Of course, if you are not quite ready to get started yet, this website is a great place to start your research for estate planning, estate administration, Medi-Cal, veterans benefits, and many other things. Lots of great information. You may also want to take a look at our webinars on VA benefits, which is also available on this website, or some of the earlier segments on Medi-Cal, again available on this website. We look forward to hearing from you and seeing you in the future. Thanks for listening.